Hello my queens and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Amy. By day I work in the tech space, so yes, I'm a tech nerd, and by night I am a certified makeup artist with a specialty in mature skin. The reason why I got into this is because I'm mature and I love beauty. So today I want to talk to you about concealer, right? It seems to be our biggest pain point, one of the things that we really struggle with as we age, because we're getting hollowness, we're getting darkness, we have crow's feet, fine lines and wrinkles, and nothing just seems to wear the way it used to. So let's dive into some tips and tricks that I have learned along the way that I'm going to share with you so you can get that beautiful under eye look that you're craving. So concealer is tricky for everyone. Obviously, when we're younger, it's not as bad because we have beautiful, smooth skin, but the more wiser we get, did I say that right? The wiser and more fabulous that we get, the harder it seems to be to control what's going on with our faces and with our makeup. Because we're at the point now where it's not just about covering, right? We got to think about lifting. We got to think about brightening. We got to think about working with the skin that we have instead of against it. So, cool story, at least I think it's a cool story. A few years ago, I would say back in 2020, 2021, when I really first started to get into makeup and actually filming content, I had done a reel on TikTok. And I had done the reel. It was all about concealer and a concealer technique for mature skin. At that time, I think I was in my early 50s. And my husband and I went to do errands. And while we were out and about, my phone is exploding and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And no lie, that video took off. It ended up with over 400,000 views. Now, since then, as I've continued to build my skill set in the makeup space, and because again, I'm aging and my skin is changing even more, I've learned some new things, at least new to me. Other more seasoned makeup artists may have already known these things, but I want to share these tips with you that I find have been working for me and working for the mature clients that I work with. Because when you think about makeup, right, it's not just doing the same thing over and over and over again. We have to adapt, we have to learn, we have to evolve. So let's talk about choosing the right type of concealer for mature skin. You'll see a lot of celebrity makeup artists that will have these recommendations, and they always choose to use something that is lighter weight with buildable coverage. One celebrity makeup artist that I follow religiously is Vincent Ford. He goes over this quite a bit with some of his techniques. He's got a lot of techniques that he shows out there with his videos for mature skin, which I greatly appreciate and I learn a lot from. One of my favorites is the Natasha Denona High Glam, and I'm sure you've seen this everywhere. Everybody raves about how good it is. I do truly love this one. It's lightweight, it's buildable, it's creamy, it does what it needs to do, and it stretches. But if you're on a budget, and one of the things that I had first put in my MUA kit when I first started, the NYX Bear With Me concealer is a great budget-friendly option. Comes in a wide variety of colors. I really like the fact that it's a little tiny pump, so you can just pump a little bit on the back of your hand and just work it into those areas where you need it. And my phone just fell. Let's see if we can finish this video without the phone falling again. You guys, I have to keep my notes in front of me on my phone because inevitably my ADD brain is gonna forget to tell you something that I really wanna tell you. So at the end of the day, the days of Shape Tape are over, right? Because that is too heavy for our under eye. I have tried the creamy version of that. Didn't work for me. Still don't like it. So for the most part, I am sticking with the NYX or sticking with Natasha Denona. There are a couple of other notable brands out there, and I have tried because I'm all about testing. I want to try every product out there that might be friendly to mature skin. So Sarah Creel's a good one, although it's pretty pricey. And then Maxine's Revenge, that's another really good concealer that works well for mature skin. Now here's the thing. The concealer is only going to be as cooperative and look as good as it can based on your skin. So when it comes to applying concealer, there's a few things I do because hydration, I don't know how many more times I can say hydration is key, right? We already are dealing with the fact that the skin under our eyes is very thin, but we're also dealing with the fact that our skin is getting drier. So for example, when I'm getting ready for work in the morning, do my morning skincare routine, I will go ahead and then put on under eye patches. I love the ones from Skin Icelandic because they don't slide around and end up down here. And I'll leave those on while I'm doing my eye makeup. As soon as I take those off, I then go in with either this Wet n Wild primer. I learned this from another makeup artist. Or I love this e.l.f. Stay Cool stick. It's like the Aquaphor that Scott Barnes has used in some of his videos that went absolutely viral. But I don't know, this is a cooling stick and it just feels so nice under the eyes. And I will put that on and let that sit for a minute before I put any concealer on. The other thing is, any of my eye creams or like these cooling sticks, I leave in the refrigerator just to give me that extra bit of cooling when I go to apply it. So a lot of times as we age, or if we are prone to allergies, another thing that we're having to deal with is discoloration or hollowness. And hollowness can make you look like you have discoloration. So we're losing fat in through here, or we could have allergy shiners. So this is where we have to go back to what we call color theory. That's the very first thing they teach us in makeup artistry. That and lighting. Those are the first two things I learned. Oh, I'm sorry, and sanitation. But, so I always keep wheels, color wheels handy. I've got several of these in different sizes. I keep one in my kit. This one usually hangs on my wall. But say, for example, you have allergy shiners that are looking a little bluish, little purplish. What you want to do is go with the opposite to neutralize it. So for example, if you're more, say, bluish, right? You're going to want to go with something with an orange base. The one that I like, let me find it. Yes, here it is. Sorry, I didn't have it ready. But Nicole Johnson, she is a makeup artist that specializes in mature skin, but she's got these pencils that are super convenient. She's got this in 2 different shades depending on your skin tone. So you'll go darker with this if you're more a dark skin tone, and you'll go lighter if you're a light skin tone. If you tend to be like I am, what I call sallow, which I look a little bit yellow in this area, and I don't know if it's because of my freckles or it's just my skin tone, because my skin is more neutral, because sometimes it can look a little cool. It's definitely cool, but more like rosy, and then sometimes it just looks yellowy. So what I typically will do if I'm looking particularly sallow, which is more of a yellowish undertone, I'm actually gonna go with more of a violet color. So what brand is this? LA Girl. You can find these at the drugstore. This one is light lavender, and what I'll do is I'll just dab that on and just massage it in with the pinkies. I'm sorry, not my pinkies, my ring finger. Just because the warmth of my fingers will let that melt into that area, and not only is it going to cover that sallowness, it's going to neutralize it, but it's also going to brighten a little bit. The other thing that you can do is to use, and I didn't bring both of them, but if you want to use an under eye brightener, a lot of times I'll do this after I've applied my concealer, as my phone starts to fall again. So hold on, please. I gotta figure something else out with this whole phone deal. I've had 2 different suction cup thingies, 2 different styles. They don't want to hold. I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, as I was saying, under eye brighteners, you can put this on after concealer. They're usually in a light pink shade. Catrice has a nice one. Beauty Pie, if you've ever heard of Beauty Pie, they have a nice pink one as well. And then if you find that your under eye area happens to be a little bit dry, you can even take a wee bit of your moisturizer, whether it's your face moisturizer, your eyes, doesn't matter. Take a tiny bit and just tap that in just to give that hydration. And by tapping it in, you're not going to lift the concealer. So let's talk about application. You hear so many different opinions in regards to the application method, and quite frankly, I feel, number one, it's what works for you, what your personal comfort level is with either a sponge, a brush, or your finger. I honestly will go back and forth, just depends on the day. It depends on the viscosity of the concealer. Most of the time I do use a brush, but today I used this sponge. I think it's from Real Techniques, I don't recall. but just because the the concealer that I had chosen to use was a new to me concealer and it wasn't blending out like I wanted it to, so I just wet this with a little bit of my fixing spray and then I just went in and just worked it until I got it to spread. But a brush works just as well as your fingers. Now, one of the tips that I got from Vincent Ford that I think is absolute genius is I watched him do under eye concealer on a mature client, and what he had her do was squint like she was smiling just to create all those crow's feet. And then he took a regular cotton swab, but I actually found these little microblading cotton swabs on Amazon, of course. And I'll link to everything that I'm talking about below. And what he did was he went in and he wiped away the excess concealer that had gotten trapped in her fine lines and crow's feet. And then he just went back over with his finger to blend it all out. And I've been doing that method since then, and it works like a charm. If you feel that the concealer that you've applied looks a little too heavy, too cakey, before you do anything, take a little bit of fixing spray, either the Makeup Forever or the Max Fix-It. Spray your face and then just gently tap to thin that out and blend it. Now, I know that there is probably a zillion opinions in regards to setting the under eyes or setting mature skin, period. And I'll tell you, some of the makeup artists that I've either taken a class with or I've just gone to for mentorship and advice that have been in the business, either as a celebrity makeup artist or what have you, for years, they have all told me you have to set mature skin. You have to set it with a powder because otherwise you're gonna crease, that makeup's gonna go bye-bye, and it's wasted effort. But the key is what kind of powder, right? And the application method and the amount. So you wanna choose something that is super finely milled. Laura Mercier is tried and true. She's got an excellent powder. Another one that I really love is the RMS Unpowder. I'm gonna see if I can show this to you guys so you can see what I'm talking about on the back of my hand. This stuff is so lightweight, so incredibly silky. I am absolutely in love with this stuff. e.l.f. Halo Glow, their powder's pretty decent as well, but the key is how much you use and how you apply it. So what I typically do is I will apply it with a fluffy brush and I'll just go into those areas where I need it. Or if you want to apply it with a puff, that's okay too. Just get in right where you need it and nowhere else and then dust away any excess. And I have found that by doing this, my concealer does not crease at all. If you want more customized tips to get your concealer or your makeup as a whole looking its best, you can schedule a one-on-one makeup lesson with me, either virtual or in person if you're in the Houston area. Just head to my website, which I'll have linked below. Queens, remember, makeup should be fun, not frustrating. We deserve to feel confident and radiant at every age. So if you picked up a helpful tip today, if you learned something, hit that like button so that I know that I helped you. I would absolutely love to know if there is a concealer trick that I have talked about in this video that you're excited to try. So comment below and let me know, and let's get this conversation started. And if you want more pro-aging, friendly, totally transparent beauty tips for our age group, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, beautiful. Have a great weekend.